Welcome ladies and gentlemen, my name is Diachronicos on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're taking a look at my top 10 Hunter Exotics in Destiny 2 for both PvE and PvP. And again, something that a lot of people are missing is that this is subjective. This is based on my opinion, how I like to play Hunter, and of course the opinion of my buddies who helped me with the PvP side of things and the PvP footage. Links to their stuff in the description down below. And right before we get into it, I just wanted to put cute animals on screen right now. Obviously, I don't like to ask for likes in these videos, I just like to put cute animals on screen right now, give a smile to your face, and hope that you do the right thing. Right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. On screen right now, you can see my spreadsheets that I create for all of these different top 10 videos that show you all the things you may want to know about the recommendations, the PvE ranks, the top 10s for all the different Hunter Exotics in the game, and obviously, we do have all of the different classes. I haven't done Titan this season, but they're all there if you want to see them. And obviously, I don't really do my top 10s like a lot of other people do. If you want to know what the top 10 are, it's pretty obvious. They're on screen right now. You can go to the spreadsheets, but the reasons why they're ranked so high, it's going to be very important. You wouldn't use, for example, Mask of Bacchus in every situation in PvP. You wouldn't use Aeon Swift in every situation in PvE. The reasons why you'd use them is going to be very important. It's good to have a good collection of these. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all of the different top 10 items and honorable mentions in a backward reverse order, and then I'm going to go through all of the unranked items. And I would highly recommend you actually watch the unranked section, because I'll talk a lot about these exotics that are still very good and very fun, and some that are just absolute trash, and talk about why. First up, for the honorable mentions, we have the Six Coyote and the Omnioculus. Both a very similar use case. It's going to be invisibility. Six Coyote allowing you to have double dodge, allowing you to have that overflow charging for dodge. For Gambler's Dodge, allowing you to use more Pathfinder invisibility smoke grenades, which is really, really good for solo play. If you ever want to solo any of the dungeons or whatever, it helps you stay alive a lot longer. Omnioculus is kind of the team version of it, allowing you to get bonuses for hitting your teams with it, giving you more strength stuff, and of course having double smoke bomb for that overcharge effect on top of a slightly higher resistance while invisible to you and your teammates, which has more of a focus on getting Heart of the Pack from Pathfinder, which is a lot of good bonuses as well. Both of which are definitely things I would recommend you at least get in your collections if you end up wanting to do one of those two things. After that, at number 10, we have the Aeon Swift. An exotic, just like all of the other exotics for the other classes, is really good in PvE, allowing you to not only do all of the other massive bonuses for your team and for yourself, my favorite of which is going to be Sect of Insight, allowing you to spawn in heavy ammo off of mini-bosses or champions, and special ammo off of majors, which is really powerful. Nothing else in the entire game, outside of that one artifact mod we had that one season, allows you to spawn in heavy ammo. Heavy ammo economy is a very big thing, and it's very luck-based, whereas special ammo is a lot more dependable, and why we see a lot of special ammo exotics being dominant. Keeping in mind, whenever you finish a champion in a Grandmaster Nightfall, spawning in heavy ammo for your teammates, it doesn't require mod points, it doesn't require super energy, it just requires this exotic, which if you're using a Revenant Hunter, for example, Aeon is an excellent choice. It's a good default option in the high level play. After that, at number 9, we have the Lucky Pants, an exotic that was nowhere near the top 10 last season, and after the buff, allowing your hand cannons to do like 10 times the damage, really change it up, I guess. If you don't know, what they added to this is it allows a fully loaded hand cannon that you just swap to do extra damage for every hit you do on your enemies, which allows faster firing hand cannons like Crimson and Last Word to really ramp up that damage bonus quite quickly. And it also works for Arianas. It doesn't do the 10 times damage, it's a lot more of a modest bonus, but given that Arianas is what I consider the best PvE weapon in the game, Lucky Pants just makes it even better. And finally, a lot of people don't like using this with Hawkmoon, but I actually really do. Obviously, it does not affect the final Paracausal Hawkmoon shot on it, but it does affect all of the shots leading up to that, which increases your total overall damage output, and is entirely the reason why you use Hawkmoon in a Grandmaster, is for that boss damage output with a primary weapon. Again, a pretty good default if you have a hand cannon in a Grandmaster Nightfall. After that, at number 8, we have the Orpheus Rakes. You guys know it, you know you love it. It gives you more super energy, it gives you more ability energy, it allows you to lock down enemies, kill lots of enemies at the same time, weaken enemies, including bosses. It's just, oh, and as well as spawn a bunch of orbs for your teammates. It's just an incredible exotic to have to make your tether even better, which almost rhymes. Even better? Following that at number 7, we have the Raiden Flux, which actually re-entered the top 10, an excellent exotic that I've always recommended, allowing your arc staff to last a whole lot longer. And the biggest reason why it re-entered the top 10, because it got a number of different buffs, including super duration, heavy slam detonation radius, and of course a big bonus to PvE damage, which is pretty damn good. And if you use this exotic, making it so it lasts a lot longer, with the arc staff Way of the Wind, allowing you to do that dodge effect for more resistance, I would say it's Grandmaster worthy, because that dodge resistance is so high and it lasts so long. It's honestly a good option. You might not see it a lot in Grandmasters, but it is a good option if you like it. Up next at number 6, we have the Wormhusk Crown. Pretty much the same as it always has been. You get around half of your health and shields after using a dodge, which allows you to re-engage with more health, or it allows you to escape with crossfire with more health. Which is just good, right? Every 11 seconds you can say, no, I'm not dead yet. And as a personal thing for PvE, I also think it's good. 7 out of 10 because it helps you survive. And more often than not, you're not dying is more important than doing maybe a little bit of extra damage. Especially in a raid, if you use 3 res tokens, you might want to use this exotic instead. Which is funny, because I probably should use it more often, because I do. After that, at number 5, we have the Mask of Baccharis. Pretty much the same as it has been before. The main use of this is going to be that extra amazing dodge ability where you have your weapons ready immediately after coming through that blink effect. And of course, you avoid all damage from point A to point B, allowing you to escape rocket fire, nova bombs, or whatever. And of course, it makes you go really, really fast in that direction. The big downside is it also puts your dodge on a much longer cooldown because you have to wait for that arc light effect. And when it comes to the PvE side of things, it's a bit of a two-faced exotic because you're depending more on that extra arc damage against enemies, and of course enemies that are affected by stasis, you also do more damage. And if you're using a Well of Radiance and focusing lens, you're going to get even more bonuses, which I heard, by the way, the arc thing does stack with all the other bonuses, because why not? Coming up next at number 4, we have the Celestial Nighthawk, which is going to be one of those exotics that's just always useful for the hunter. It takes those 3 golden gun shots, turns it into one that does 6 times the damage, not only doing a lot more damage, but it also makes it so it does it a lot faster from any range. So this is going to be useful in raids if you don't know what to do. It's going to be useful in Grandmasters because it one-shots most champions, and it gives you, I think, a third of your super energy if you get a kill with it. So again, Grandmasters, it's still a good option. However, following that at number 3 is the Star Eater's Scales, which actually I have been using a lot more with Sharpshooter for a very similar reason. First of all, you get more super energy from the Orbs of Power. So all of your Masterwork orbs, all of your super orbs, especially in the Grandmaster, you're making a lot more orbs because you're bigger synergy with your teammates. And once you actually get your full super, extra orbs actually give you more overcharge. And a massive ×8 overcharge makes you do a lot more damage than Celestial Nighthawk, keeping in mind that Sharpshooter already does more damage per headshot of those 3 shots. On top of also giving you a healing effect and an overshield effect, and the fact that it's not locked to just Sharpshooter. You can use it with any of the subclass stuff and do more damage. If you want to use Revenant and do maybe a little bit more damage with Revenant, get your Revenant super faster because of this super generation bonus. Star Eater Scales really solves a lot of those problems and is one of the best exotics you can get from the legendary and Master Law sectors. After that, at number 2, we have the Dragon Shadow, one of the best examples of how important handling really is, because we all loved Quick Draw because of the +100 handling it gave us. Fast swap speed, fast aim down sight speed, fast movement speed, fast ready from sprint to fire speed, and after the nerf to Quick Draw, we really realized how important handling really is. And this exotic solves all of those problems and then some, which it actually is faster than Quick Draw used to be, and it also gives you that auto-loading bonus, so you don't have to use Marksman's Dodge. You can actually use the better Gambler's Dodge, get that extra bonus, that better roll effect. Just an overall incredible PvP exotic, making every weapon really fast, very nice, and I think the last thing, there's a hidden bonus here. It increases mobility by 20, so you only have to get tier 8, and this exotic finishes the rest of it. And finally, at number 1, we have the Stompies. Pretty much the same as always has been since the game came out. The Stompies allow you to sprint faster, slide farther, and jump with much more velocity and violence, which allows you to just be really fast and in people's face, which is usually the job of the hunter, to flank the enemy, run at the enemy, cause them to look straight up in the air, which takes a lot more time to look back down at your teammates. When Shaq says, "Hunters blaze a path for the rest of us," that's what he means. The hunters need to really run in there, and this exotic makes that happen a lot more effectively, because in first-person shooters, the faster your enemy is, the harder it is to hit them. Right, so with the top 10 out of the way, let's go ahead and go through all of the unranked items. And I know a lot of people are going to skip this section of the video, but I would really recommend you take a look, because there's going to be a lot of exotics here, first of all, that are actually really good. They just missed the top 10 because I could only pick 10, and a lot of exotics that are also really fun. And finally, exotics, which I do think need to be talked about more often because they're just trash. First up, Assassin's Cowl. Gives you that invisibility effect, which is pretty nice, but usually you're finishing the last enemy on the battlefield. Foe Tracer does allow you to see enemies through walls, but it's usually an enemy you already know about, and that extra damage on low health is like last 10-20%. Graviton Forfeit did get a buff this season, allowing you to have increased recovery. I think it gives you around a level 7 recovery, and of course the invisibility effects last even longer. Kind of an alternative to 6 Coyote Omnioculus, but I don't prefer it. Knucklehead Radar, allowing you to see your radar while aiming down sights, is an advantage, a good default for PvP, but there are definitely so many better ones. Aether's Embrace, a number of really good bonuses to your throwing knife, allowing you to one-shot with it off of just precision hits, not precision kills, and much better aim assistance, and even another bounce. However, a bit more of a one-trick pony. Khepri Sting, actually banned in competitive play because it helps you see through walls from any distance, which really helps you and your team. Very high skill floor, high skill ceiling exotic though. Liar's Handshake, the high melee damage bonus, as well as having healing on it. However, melee is dangerous, and in PvP, usually you die by the time you're meleeed. Mechanier's Trick Sleeve, a number of bonuses you don't really care about for your sidearm, and of course the damage bonus is very inconsistent, and of course shotguns just do way more anyways. Oathkeeper, giving you a bonus that most of the time you can practice in 5 minutes. However, it is a unique bonus to bows, and if you like using bows, you can definitely get use out of it. I just think there are a lot of better options. Pseudo Humkara Grasp, kind of a DPS option if you have a very close ranged weapon like a shotgun, allowing you to load all of the rounds instantly on a hit. However, very dangerous. Shards of Galanor, a pretty decent return of super energy, obviously capped out at 50%, somewhat inconsistent, and the rest of the subclass is trash. Shinobu's Vow, somewhat close to being in the top 10, a pretty good set of bonuses to your skip grenade, additional skip grenade, returns on energy of skip grenades. However, a lot of the time I saw people using this with grenade launchers, the special ammo grenade launchers, and after the nerf to that, I don't see it very often. Young Humkar's Spine, a number of bonuses to your trip mine, including a hidden bonus that actually makes them take a lot more damage to break. And if you're good with trip mines, it can do a lot of good for you, but a very high skill floor, high skill ceiling. Quiz Vest doesn't really change the number of kills you get per match by much more than maybe 1 or 2, and Spectral Blades got another nerf this season. Lucky Raspberry, Arc Bolt is a good option, but obviously this is very inconsistent, and Arc Bolt isn't as good as it was many seasons ago. Ophidius Spath, an extra melee charge just for solar, and the solar melees, the knives, are really not a game changer. I don't know why it's just for solar when Clazo Amkara is for everything. Reiju's Harness, very, very close to being in the top 10, an excellent choice for reflecting arc tornadoes, getting your super cancel early for more super energy, and if you want to give your friends Radiant Light for their high energy fire stuff, you just pop a super and end it. You have 75%. And yes, technically Arc Staff did get a number of buffs this season, but the biggest buff was more of a PvE damage buff. However, again, it's a really good exotic. I really highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. The Frosties actually gives you a pretty high bonus. I think it's like plus 50 in those 3 stats. However, it's only while you're sprinting, so on average it's more like 10 to 20 in each of those stats. A decent option, more of a default option, not really interesting. Gemini Jester kind of forces your enemies to just sit in a corner because they don't have a radar. You don't want your enemies to do that. Radiant Dance Machines, the new exotic for this season, used to be broken when you could activate Dynamo every single one of those dodges, giving your super back almost instantly from this. However, they did patch that, and I'm not really sure what kind of build you can do with infinite dodges for like a short duration. And finally, the Bombardiers. They did actually change this to include a number of extra different kind of bonuses, so depending on your subclass type, you got an extra bonus, and a couple of these don't really make much sense. The Suppress bonus does not turn off enemy supers. The Slow bonus from Stasis does not give you stasis stacks. It's a separate kind of stasis. So it's very weird, and again, I just don't know when this would make a difference. And of course, if you haven't seen it already, I have a giveaway going on right now. Astro A10 headset, Blue Yeti microphone, link in the description down below on how to enter. And of course, a huge, massive thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Truly, without their help, I wouldn't be able to make these spreadsheets. So if you want to see them continue, please consider my Patreon in the description down below, because without your help, I may have to stop doing spreadsheets because they take 10 to 20 hours every single week. And that's the end of it. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name is Nightfall, and I will see you guys on the next one.